Hello, my name is Eric Jackson. I'm a reporter at Sportico, and today we'll be talking about collective bargaining agreements, also known as CBAs. So a CBA is a legal contract between an employer and a union which represents employees, aka, in this case, the players, right? So the document usually outlines salaries, wages, service time, so many different items, a part of the terms and conditions, a part of the agreement. So as you can imagine, contracts that are focused on labor issues, money, revenue sharing between owners and players, it's seemingly always met with tension, right, from both sides. So this is what usually leads us to lockouts. Right. So obviously the MLB right now is in their situation, and a big point of contention in this year's negotiations is, implementing potentially a salary floor, arbitration, eligibility when players can, get paid sooner. That's a big talking point for them, as well as competitive balance. So it's always this jousting, right, between, owners and players, and that's really the basis of it. And players typically want a little bit more, whether that's revenue share or fairness, rightfully so in a lot of ways. And then the owners, on the other hand, are usually trying to minimize costs and raising fees and other expenditures on their end. Essentially every league has their own CBA generally. Obviously, smaller leagues, might have different sort of agreements in place, but obviously MLB's in their situation. NWSL just signed their first CBA, which included, players' minimum salaries being raised. Obviously the NFL has their own as well. And, some consider that last one to be more player favorable, even though it included a 17th game, to the disappointment of some players too. So, right. So it's always this back and forth. And the NBA has one, of course, as well, and theirs runs through 23-24 season, but there's an option to, to opt out next season. So, it's almost like kicking the can down the road, right? Like these CBAs usually get done, and then, we'll pick up the issues a few years later. Both a lockout and a strike are both work stoppages, right? But a lockout is the league, or ownership, I should say, saying, you can't work for us until, you agree to this deal that we have. A strike is the employee saying, we're not working for you until you agree to a deal. So it's, a lockout is coming from the owner's perspective, while the strike is from the employee's perspective. This has been Sportico U talking about collective bargaining agreements. If you like this, please like and subscribe to the page.